Welcome everyone to the very first episode of the Workmate Podcast with Andrew Senduk. And in today's episode, we're exploring the fascinating realm of future HR in the hospitality industry. Let's get started.
All right, beautiful people, welcome to a new episode. Well, to be very honest, it's actually the first episode of this, what we're doing right now. And I'm really excited to have Dicky Nugraha Ramdhani on the show. Just a bit of context, we've been working with Intercon for a while. And I've asked Dicky, hey, do you want to join on this podcast session we want to do? And he's so friendly and so willingly to join us. Just a quick disclaimer, Dicky is joining us as Dicky, not so much as a representative of Intercon. So anything he says is just purely from his experience within the hotel industry. So just a quick snapshot of who Dicky is and what he's doing now. I think you've been in the industry, at least in the hospitality industry, for the last 10 plus years. Started out with Mandarin Oriental, went to Four Seasons, then you went to the Hermitage, which actually is behind my apartment in Jakarta, in Menteng. And you're currently at the Intercontinental, where you are cluster human resource leader. Dicky, thank you so much for making time to connect, and I'm happy that you're on the show. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. It's been my pleasure also, Andrew, to join with your podcast, sharing a session with you, with the others also. This is what kind of I'm looking for. I mean, like if you are learning not only from the formal lessons, right, but by hearing others' experience also, it's one of the learning point that you can get, right?
Yeah, for sure.
My pleasure.
Amazing. So let's jump into it, right? I mean, it's very clear if I look at your path, your journey so far in hospitality. It's always been hotels. It's always been nice hotels, and it's always been people related. Whether it's learning development, whether it's training, it's human resource. It's always been people related. What kind of brought you into this whole one hospitality space, and then two specifically the people element of it?
So basically, I had educational background in hospitality university back in 2007. Joined with the oldest university hospitality in Indonesia. I believe it is back in the day called NHI. It is in Bandung. So I got 4 years diploma majoring in hotel administration, and specifically in not in the operation but in management. Then I had the opportunity to have several internship, but the last one I had internship in Mandarin that brought me to the HR career. So that's the start actually.
Nice. So it's kind of like because of the internship, you got exposed to the human resources part and the people part of the industry.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So maybe a bit more about where you are right now as a cluster human resource leader. Like what's kind of like your scope at the moment?
So right now I'm handling for 2 properties as a cluster, hotels and apartment. You know what? From the business itself, it's quite different. Hotels and apartment, the service that we provide also quite different, right? And then with the very lean structure of organization, it is a new stage for me to perform my skill and ability. So it is a challenging environment also for us, especially during or after pandemic, like when the business is now we are starting to trying to get back what we lost during the pandemic.
Yeah, I think I think you touch upon something which is, I think, especially for everyone in the hospitality industry, or I think everyone in the economy actually, is been exposed, over the last, let's say, three plus years, a major disruption of the economy, and maybe especially travel and hospitality. The whole business got flipped upside down, right? So how did you experience that? I mean, how was it for you to be especially focused on the people as well as a human resource leader, right? How was it for you to go through that season? What's been it like? How has it been?
Pandemic, it is new for everyone, right? Even though for myself, there is no preparation. I mean, there is no course that you can get
No.
back back in the university or back from your previous experience, but this is for us all new. We facing the uncertain situation, but the things that can help you is the way you see the uncertain situation. It is outside of our controls, right? And then how do you react with the situation? Actually, if you keep positive to handle the situation, it's easier for you to make a decision. Because to be honest, on that time during the pandemic, I just joined my previous company for a month, and then I have challenge with the restructures about the uh, the organization related with the business that we had got hit by the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
There is up and downs. Sometimes it's easier to say that you just need to put yourself on the other's shoes, right? But come on, it is not easier as that, right?
Yeah. Easier said than done.
Yeah, we cannot feels what the others feels, right? We don't know what the struggles behind everyone, right? So why I put myself as a HR leader is to keep the optimism from my team by doing more communication, not as a leader or not as the co-worker, but as a partner, because we are together in it, right? We had the same room and then we are together. So I'm not seeing anymore my team members as a co-worker, but as a partner.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point, actually, good angle, where in this fast-paced environment and, things could be quote unquote automated. A lot of things can be automated.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think especially as human resource experts like yourself, I think at the end of the day, it's about people and it's really partnering, right? Which brings me to this topic of the HR field, so pure the human resource field and technology. Because I think whether we want it or not, the technology is going to play a role in the future of HR, right? And I think it's already playing a role in the future of HR. Do you have any ideas or what are your thoughts about, because I think you mentioned something really well, right? At the end of the day, it's about people. So you need to have that relationship with people. But then at the same time, the world is evolving, economies are evolving, businesses are evolving. Technology is going to be part of that evolution, right? What do you kind of foresee when it comes down to technological innovations within the HR space? Are there any things that you see happening in the coming, let's say, 5 years ahead?
Okay, so basically the hospital industry, especially hotel, is constantly evolving, right? With the trends that we need to stay update with the latest hotel trends. It is crucial also for hotel to stay ahead above the competition, right? And then we all agree the benefit of using the technology is not only for us, but for the other stakeholders, for the owners, for the guests, right? And then during the pandemic, it's accelerate the certain trend, right? If you still remembers that there is no more close contact with the guests, and then also suddenly we are using QR code for the menus and kind of things, right? Yeah. And smart technology application also that push us, for example, like the VR virtual. Usually, when you are selling the product, you need to see the product. Let's say you need to see the ballroom, you need to see the room set. It is not possible during the pandemic, right? So you need to come up with something like using the VR technology to show how very beautiful our products, right? And then also they are related with check-in, check-out process. We're talking about the hotels, right? some of the hotels now provide their checkout counter kiosk. Just drop your keys and then settle the bills without any human interaction. So, right. Then with the minimum team members, but hotel need to still operate 24 hours. Now you can use the AI, right? Like chatbot system when you ask certain questions, suddenly you get the certain answer that has been provided. But if you are willing to speak directly with the operators, you can choose that option also, right? That's the thing that maybe if we don't have any pandemic, we will not so fast to implement that one, right?
Yeah. It would take maybe a couple of years more, right?
Exactly. And then on top of the application that we use in the hospital industry, human touch still be the number one. I mean, like if you had a complaint, I believe you don't want to talk to the operator, record it, right? It will make you more upset, right? It's still, we still have the human sense to giving the what we call it, the memories for the guests.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think especially within 5-star levels of hotels, I think the memories and experiences that's what really counts, right? Okay, but besides the human touch, so you also see like a big driver or adaptation, a big driver of adaptation within the hospitality industry for technology, right? To improve and to make things more efficient. When it comes down to workforce, I think that's a really interesting angle as well, especially since we talk about we came out of the pandemic. During the pandemic, I think a lot of hotels, when businesses went down, so a lot of the workforce was let go or put on furlough. Yeah, and now you're building that workforce again, right?
Yes.
How do you see technology playing a role there, like specifically within workforce management? Is that something that's also on your mind, or how technology can help you hire better, faster, better quality people?
Okay, so as we are aware that we are used to with the human resources management system, HRMS, that usually helps you with the database and then the payrolls, recruiting, training, etc. Right? Then I believe for certain hotel that let's say 5-star with Change International, they already applicable or implement that systems, right? There will be no more doubt that it helps our productivity, right? And then the trends will be implementing efficient way to optimize your perspective. As you mentioned previously, we do have a lot of layover, let's say, right? And then we do have a lot of new hires. But the thing is, pandemic really shifts the mindset of the organization also. We are not talking about the numbers of employee, but we are now talking about the quality of the employee.
Yeah, wow, that's good.
We would like to have the highest productivity with the lowest manpower that we have, right? And for sure, we need to reduce the cost also, right? Because we learned from past experience during pandemic, right? Implementing the workforce optimization apps or mobile apps, it will help us to streamline the employee management also, assisting with the let's say scheduling and then the administration, the payroll, like I mentioned previously, and also that the thing is we can have the report of the productivity gap, right? It's easily by the system when we have certain level of occupancy, let's say certain level of meal covers, they can produce how many hours that we need, how many manpowers that we need, that usually we always put as a number two. Let's say we could say like that because previously, maybe we'll see that if you talk about the service or about people's, maybe in back in the day, you will have one waiters or one server for one tables, right? But right now, you can see that job of 4 or 5 people can be handled by 1 or 2 people.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we need to see the quality of the hiring process also.
That's a really, really good point, right? And yeah, for sure. It's not. I think it's not only hospitality, right? I hear it across different industries, different verticals, where companies are just saying now, you know what? I want this person to be more productive, right? Which is fair enough. And then the question is then the question is like how would that selection process then look like? Are we saying that because for sure it means that we're hiring differently, right? Maybe before it's more quantity based. We just hire a lot of people and we'll make it all happen. And now it's more like, okay, we want to hire sufficient number of people that have the optimum output, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean for your hiring process? Are you flipping around your hiring process? Because it means that you need to be more selective, right? With who you get on board.
Correct. So basically now when we do the hirings or not only because the competence they had about the position that we opened, right? Hire the right employees. It's mean they can fulfill our expectation. So usually what we did in the interview is only ask what is your background and then your experience, or he had this, that, and kind of things that, but we never mention or rarely mention what is our expectation as employers, right? So that's why a lot of the we couldn't say that it's fail on hiring, but we could see some of the employees, even though not reached 3 or 4 months, has been resigned from their companies, right? Because what they get during the interview, it's different with what they had during the journey as become employees. So
I think that's a really good point, man. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I think it's very important to point out your expectation because for, let's say we are talking about Indonesians, right? Expectation is something that you need to know, but it's never spoken, right? Yeah. You always wondering that why I always doing wrong, why he always not happy, why my boss didn't accept my work. But as a boss or as an employer, never said or mentioning what is your expectation about that. So that's why in the beginning, start from recruiting both parties, which is the employers and the candidates, should agree on the expectation that need to be delivered by the candidates.
Yeah, that's so true.
Took a quiet time to have the right candidates because right now, especially for someone that has been 2 or 3 years during pandemic at home, never had real experience in the industry, so it's difficult, right?
Yeah, that is so true. I think from a white collar job perspective, maybe that's more accepted, right? Where it's clearly communicated what your expectations are. But I think the quote unquote the lower you go on that hierarchy, let's say, there's some more blue collar frontline workers. It's almost like we assume they know that this is going to be their task,
exactly.
Right? So I think what could be interesting, right? Talking about that again, tying it back to the whole technology thing, right? So if in the hiring flow of this, let's say blue collar workers or frontline workers, if there is a possibility for these workers to have a very clear expectation and not just maybe 3 bullet points of what is expected, Because oftentimes it's only about what's the salary, and then I don't know 2-3 things what I need to do, right?
Yes.
If there's more time in that hiring flow where the expectations are clearly communicated to the workers, right? As in,
Okay.
this is what you need to do.
Yeah. So basically, in real industry, I mean, like, we are don't have any time to explain what is our
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because you also have time, the time element. Yeah.
Exactly. Why? Because with the business phase that we had, it's very fast right now, right? And then the numbers of vacant position that you need to fill, and also the business needs that we cannot completely uh, doing the hiring by ourselves, right? So that's why I think partnering with the other professionals also that could help us. For example, that to get the right talent, we can partnering with the third party that provide us with the assessment,
Mm.
not about the IT, but in the hospital industry, maybe because we are looking for the behavioral assessment. Because as you know that our hospital industry is guests, right? Our main focus is to interact with the guests, right?
Yeah.
So rather than that I'm doing or we are doing by ourselves, we could use that kind of partnership also, right? And the other hand is also, uh, as an HR, we do have our limitation also, right? Let's say 9 to 5, 9 to 6 time that we had, but with a lot of things that on
Need to be
our
done.
table, it will be
Yeah.
difficult also, right? And then the other things with what we are implementing is to partnering with the like the outsource company that we now running, right? It will be help us also, not because of we are so lazy, but they are professional in their main area, right? That we help us to find the right candidates.
Yeah. No. Of course. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the third parties in general should take some pressure away from the HR roles, right? So that they actually create value for your role as well. Dickie, two final questions, right? Number one is this: in a time where we're coming out of the pandemic, so suddenly you need to have more staff again, but everyone needs to have more staff, right? So all the hotels are pulling from the same pool. What are kind of like your strategies? Are there some strategies or tactics that you use to keep the intercon or to keep the workers from the hotel really stick to you instead of to go everywhere? Because I think it's kind of like a quote unquote buyer's market, right? I mean, because all the hotels need people.
Yeah. So if you talk about the employees, talk about the talents, we should have talent magnet, right?
Yeah.
Magnet that you can use to attract people to join with you, right? Because of we do have experience in pandemic, so first they need job security, right?
Yeah.
They need to have a reliable company to work with, and also the thing is because right now the demands also quite high from the others competitors.
Yeah.
So we should have something benefit that's very competitive with the others, right? I'm not saying it's only about the salaries, but usually people resign not because of the salary, right? Because of the opportunity to grow.
Yeah. Good point.
That's the only issue that we have, because once we have the we can complete the competitive salaries, we can complete the all the basic benefit that we can give to the employees. The other thing that's what can make them stay with us is the opportunity to grow their career.
Yeah. which is fair enough, because I was just thinking, like, will it only be salary? But it's not, of course. Right? At the end of the day, maybe salary will be a short-term thing, but at the end of the day, they want the
Totally.
opportunities, right? Yeah, and that applies actually not only for white collar. It actually applies for
Exactly, for everyone.
all talents, right? Yeah, no, that's really good. Okay, Dickie, final question, right? And as I promised you pre-interview, I'm going to give you one philosophical question, right? So I hope you're ready. Now, let's imagine a day in time, very, very far away into the future. And on that day, I tried to Google your name. I tried to Google Dickie, right? I Googled Dickie Ramdhani, and there's nothing I can find on LinkedIn. There's no hospitality career. There's nothing I can find. There's no digital footprint, right? And the only thing I can find are 3 bullet points. And these 3 bullet points would be the life lessons of Dickie Ramdhani. What was those 3 bullet points be? Could be anything, by the way. Could be anything.
Okay. Now I'm on their position that I could proud of. Everyone always say that because you have a good connection, because you had the privilege, something like that, right? But the thing is, what I could share, it is never stop of learning, because when you have a lot of knowledge, everything will be easier for you.
Good.
That's the first thing that helped me to reach my position right now. And then it is the quote that I had from my second company: treat each other as you would like to be treated. Whenever you are, you need to treat the others as you want to be treated. Not only in the working or professional environment, but I think it will be applicable also in the
Personal life. Yeah, for sure.
Life, right? And then the last thing, what we always find in the office environment, that someone with lot of ideas, right? Someone with lot of the amazing goals or amazing targets, right? But rarely you will find someone that coming up during the meeting and said, let me taking care of this one. I will show you, it will be done. Right? That kind of attitude that you want to have to make you succeed, I think.
I love it.
No matter what, right? If you are not understand, you can learn, right? If you are treat everyone equal, you will have that privilege also, right? And when you take one step from the others, I mean, move forward from the others, right? You will reach your destination faster than your co-worker or partner. So I think that 3 things that you may find if I stop using the social media.
I love it. And I think especially the last one where you say, like, I think having ideas is great, right? But then who's actually taking it and taking action, right? And I always believe that the world belongs to the action taker. So I fully agree with you, Dickie. Dickie, we've come to the end. I want to thank you so much for being so generous with your sharing, right? I think there's so much learning of people matters within hospitality specifically. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. And I hope to see you soon in Jakarta.
Okay. Thank you so much, Andrew, for the time. I hope we can meet offline immediately. Yeah?
Yes, we will. Thank you so much, Dickie. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.